welcome back to this channel where we spread love and positive vibes. Allow me to start a video by thanking our new subscribers and our returning subscribers. We value you, we appreciate you so much, and we love you so much. Thank you once again for supporting us, liking our videos and commenting down below, and actually congratulating us and motivating us to keep on shooting this content. Today I kept quiet and I remembered the heroes that have been there in Jamaica. There have been great people in Jamaica who have done exploits and who have done many things for the whole world. The world admires them, the world remembers them because some of them are normal, and the world celebrates them for the work that they did, having selflessness so that they can liberate others and so that they can spread peace and unity. One of those leaders is Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey worked so hard in diaspora to unite the black people. He taught unity, he spoke unity, he thought unity, he lived unity. And he dreamt of an African united with the Caribbean. His dream was to see a united Africa and also to see a united Africa and Jamaica and the Caribbeans. And therefore, there have been many men who have been born after him, but there is no single man that has been like this man who has risen in Africa, and he has become a grip of hope for the African people, a grip of hope for the unity that Marcus Garvey talked about, lived for, and spread throughout his life. This man desires to see a united Africa, a liberated Africa, an Africa that is not going through colonialism. Actually, it is neo-colonialism in the face of helping the Africans. And therefore, this man is none other than Ibrahim Traore, the current president of Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore, when you hear him speaking, you become emotional. You feel like crying. There is one of the video I saw him saying that he cannot rest, he cannot have peace until he sees, or rather until he achieves the break, or rather he breaks the cord that has tied Africa into slavery. According to Ibrahim Traore, and it is very true, Africa is still in slavery. We look like we have been liberated, but we are still in slavery. And Ibrahim Traore wishes to break every cord, every chain that ties Africa, or that has kept Africa in slavery. And he declares, I would rather die than to accept the new colonial masters. And according to him, the new colonial masters have a new way of colonizing the Africans without necessarily putting them, or rather making them go through what they used to do those many years ago. But we are still under the tie of colonial rule because we are indirectly controlled by the colonial masters. Our economy is controlled by the colonial masters. Our way of life is controlled by the colonial masters. The way we live is controlled by the colonial masters. And I actually felt like crying because when I look at our nation today, there is heavy taxation and a lot of things that are going on, and they are somehow influenced by these colonial masters. And according to Ibrahim Traore, he declares he would rather die than to see Africa kept in slavery. He would rather die than to see or to accept the new colonial masters. And this is a very, very great selfless declaration and very rare declaration in Africa and even some of the countries in the Caribbean. We don't have a leader who is so selfless that he can declare that he would rather go to that marriage to see a liberated Africa and a free Africa and an Africa that depends on itself. Could he be another Marcus Garvey? Could he be another Paul Blogger? Could he be those legends that we celebrate in Jamaica who fought with all what they had, who bowed down to sacrifice themselves, to die, to be hanged, so that Jamaica could be liberated? Jamaica could have the freedom they so much desired. There are so many people that died and suffered so that humanity can have freedom. Humanity can have liberation. And this is what Ibrahim Traore declares to do, so that he can find Africa liberated, Africa freed from cords of slavery. I was so emotional as I read the message that he had written. So first of all, let us see the message that Ibrahim Traore has declared to make sure the cords of slavery are broken in Africa. I hope you have seen the message, and I've never seen somebody who is so humble, so selfless, that he wishes Africa would be liberated. And he has acted by example. He has read, just like Michael Manry in Jamaica, he has read by example. We know the work that Michael Manry did in Jamaica so that he could see a liberated Jamaica, a free Jamaica, an independent Jamaica. And Ibrahim has also done that in his own country, Burkina Faso. The first thing he did was to withdraw all the mining licenses for the foreign countries. So in Burkina Faso, the mining is done by the people of Burkina Faso. The gold that is in Burkina Faso is actually mined and processed in Burkina Faso. And he declared no gold will be exported to foreign countries for processing. They are going to do the processing in Burkina Faso, and the gold of Burkina Faso, or the gold in Burkina Faso, will be used to strengthen Burkina Faso economically, physically, financially, in terms of job creation. He starts by example, by declaring that Burkina Faso is strong enough to actually get its own gold, process it, and now sell it when it is already processed. This is a great marriage, considering that this guy is an African president. Actually, many people desire that Burkina Faso, or rather that Ibrahim Traore becomes their president. When I went to the comment section of the videos I'm going to bring to you, people were desiring that this guy becomes their president. He becomes the president of a united Africa. He becomes the president of a liberated Africa. And I also pray the same, and we pray that he lives long to liberated Africa. He is a man full of wisdom and courage. He can face the colonial masters and tell them, no, you are not going to do this and you're going to vacate from our nation. These are some of the steps that he has taken in Burkina Faso. He has dropped French as their official language. We all know that Burkina Faso was using French as the official language. He started by dropping it, not for anything else, so that he can attain the African identity, the language identity, the collaboration of the African people, and the identity of the African people through their language. So Ibrahim Traore wants the Africans to identify with themselves, but not with the foreign countries. And that is why the first thing that he did was to drop French as their official language. He also removed French colonial rulers' name from the streets. We have so many, of course, Burkina Faso was colonized by French, and therefore there are so many streets that have French names. And therefore he decided to remove those names so that Burkina Faso can identify with Africa where it is. And then he banned colonial era barista wigs. So I think he wants to identify with Africa, he wants to associate with Africa, he wants to make Burkina Faso an African nation. He also paid off debt to the West, and his contribution over resources. So he paid off the debts that Burkina Faso had in the foreign countries. And this is a great marriage because all the African countries, they have debts in millions and millions of shillings from the Western countries. And even the Caribbean countries have debts in the Western countries, and therefore this guy led by example to show us that we can live without the Western debts, and we can liberate ourselves from those debts, and we can live free of those debts and yet develop our countries. Burkina Faso has actually started so many projects in the infrastructure. Airports has been built in Burkina Faso, and he has also started huge estates in Burkina Faso without borrowing from the Western powers. This man is showing us Africa can depend on itself, and this was the dream of Marcus Garvey, to see an independent Africa and Caribbean, to see that we can rely on ourselves both financially, economically, and in every angle. And this man has actually come to declare that and to do it in action in Burkina Faso. And I usually look at him and see another Marcus Garvey, another legend, like those legends in Jamaica who fought tirelessly to see the black man liberated, to see the independence of the black man and the growing of the economy of the black people without necessarily relying on the grants and aids from abroad. He is the only hope Africa has for it to unite and become one and become liberated in terms of finances, in terms of freedom, in terms of liberation, in terms of all those angles. And this was the dream that Marcus Garvey had. It's like Marcus Garvey has risen in Africa to actually revive the vision and the mission that he had. Now, it is my prayer that President Ibrahim Traore is going to live long and actually see his dream come true and actually see a united Africa, a liberated Africa, an Africa free of slavery. I also looked at him when he was talking to the African Union. Maybe you can listen to him before I come to conclude.
The children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the forces and all the necessary strategies to support these states so they can regain peace. We won't come here to talk about ourselves in the Sahel. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been a theater of international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem.
I hope you have listened to Ibrahim Traore advising the UN, United Africa. Is it UN? No. Africa Union, not. It is Africa Union, AU. Sorry for that. And he tells the African Union, Congo is fighting, people are dying, children are dying, the elderly are dying, the youth are dying, and you have done nothing to stop that war. You have put no initiative to put that war. And he tells them, it's high time you rise and put measures that are going to stop war in Congo, that are going to stop war in Sudan, that are going to stop war in Sahel. He tells them the African Union first priority is to ensure the saving of lives, is to ensure the African nations are peaceful. They cannot keep quiet and they are busy campaigning for seats and where they are going to live. While our brothers and sisters in Congo and Sudan are dying. He has stood to do the work that have been done by Jamaica for ages and years and many years. Jamaica has stood with liberation of people, with peace of people. And the other day I shot a video of the Miss World Jamaica who told Jamaicans, do not just relax and say that it is not your business that there are fights in Congo, there are fights in Sudan. It should be your business, just like it has been, to talk about justice, to talk about peace, to maintain peace in Africa. And Ibrahim Traore is retaliating the same thing to the African Union. He's telling them, you must wake up and rise up to occasion to ensure that these countries is peaceful. These countries are peaceful once again. You must wake up and talk and take action so that this war can stop. And I hope that the African leaders and the African Union as a whole listens to Ibrahim Traore, because we have leaders in Africa that have a lot to be desired. Leaders in Africa who are after their own gain. Leaders in Africa that do not bother what is happening around them. And Ibrahim Traore is telling them, it's a high time you rise to the occasion and stop these wars and take measures that are going to stop these wars. He tells them, what is the African Union doing to help the situations in DRC, Congo and Sudan? What are you doing? You are just silent when children are dying. You are just silent when people are being killed. And I hope these readers listen. These readers take action. These readers wake up and stop selfish gains and look at their people who are suffering. Now, this man has won the hearts of many in Africa, just like Marcus Garvey, Paul Bogra, and other generals who did a lot to fight for the freedom of their own people. And there is this woman who was actually asking Ibrahim Traore that Ibrahim Traore, kindly do something. We need a united, borderless Africa. She's asking Ibrahim Traore to do something about uniting Africa and creating borderless Africa, whereby every African can visit any RAD or any country in Africa when you feel like, without being prevented, without being asked so many questions on the border, because we are all Africans. We should unite and help each other to grow. And she says, I wish Africa was one country. Right now, I could be chilling somewhere in Nigeria listening to this music. So she wishes that Africa had just one border. You can go from one country to the other without being bothered. So we are going to share this video to see how people desire that this guy can unite Africa and can bring all the countries together so that we can be one, and he becomes the president of Africa. Take a look at this and then I'll come to conclude. What is your take on Ibrahim Traore? Do you see him as another Marcus Garvey? Do you see him as another red jet, like those red jets in Jamaica, like Paul Bogra, like all those men that we talk about in Jamaica who have done great work, and women who have done great work to liberate humanity, to bring peace to humanity, to reconcile humanity? We need such great leaders both in Jamaica and Africa. The leaders that are going to stand with its own people and talk on behalf of their people and work as a slave for their people and not as bosses that are going to produce others so that they can recognize them and treat them like gods. We need leaders who are suffered, like Ibrahim Traore. We need leaders who care about their people. We need leaders that are going to liberate Africa and unite it for the great goodness of Africa. And above all, Africa to unite with the Caribbeans so that we can do trade together, we can uplift each other so that we can go to the next level we all desire. Thank you once again for watching me. Bye bye. See you during the next video, and God bless.